Here's the preview video for the 9 o'clock preschool, kindergarten, Sunday school class. It's based off of the Read and Share Bible. There's a video that goes along with it. Today's story is going to be an overview of the Exodus story, the escape from Egypt, and kind of looking at how the Israelites grumbled through that. So it's a very general overview. We're going to skip over the 10 plagues and focus more on how the Israelites kind of grumbled at different times, but ultimately God came through as he had a plan all along. So, first activity, introducing to the kids the idea that Pharaoh made God's people work really hard and it wasn't fun. We just have a very basic activity here, builders and bullies. So cardboard building blocks right over here. You can just have the class use these blocks to build a big structure, a big tower over there and work together. And then let kids take turns putting on the king's crown and then just kind of like scowling at the kids and like making an angry pose. They don't actually need to bully the kids and be really mean and stuff, but just kind of play along, make it lighthearted that there was a mean king, and then you can do this discussion here and then play the video. So that kind of sets up the Bible story. The video is going to be about 5 minutes long or so. You want to get to this screen with the Roku. Here's the home screen. So Roku media player. And then click through, and then you want to go to the Read and Share folder, click OK, and then you want to go down to the Exodus overview, and then you can play the video. So like I said, the video is a very broad overview, very general overview of the Exodus story. And then after the video, we're going to do the prop review. So we'll review the story using different props along the way. So first activity, and as you're doing this, you want to have the kids kind of hold up the props, put on the different costume pieces, things like that, include the kids in this and kind of guide them in reenacting this. So first one, Moses was out one day when he saw a bush on fire, but it wasn't burning. So we have like a little artificial plant with the fire emoji. So you can have a kid kind of hold that up and use that as your visual aid. So choose one child to be Moses and drape the fabric over his shoulders or around his waist. That is right over here. So we have a big fabric cloth. So you can have Moses, a kid wear that, and then you hold up the little visual aid there. Next point, God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let his people be free. Choose a child to be Pharaoh and give him the plastic king crown, and then instruct the Moses from the previous point to tell Pharaoh, God says to let my people go. So you kind of prompt the kids along the way. Pharaoh says no, so then you prompt the Pharaoh actor and instead makes the people work harder. Instruct everyone else in the room to be workers. You can go back to doing the building blocks, or they can be doing imaginary shoveling or something. And then you can have that Pharaoh actor say, work harder, work faster. Next, God's people get mad at Moses and blame him for making Pharaoh so upset that Pharaoh is now making them work harder. So you have a bunch of these angry emojis on little craft sticks. So you can have the kids that are doing the building blocks, they can hold those up and kind of make an angry face. And then after that, Moses goes to pray to God about what to do. So you guide the Moses person to kneel in a prayerful posture. And then God sends Moses back to Pharaoh, where his staff turns into a snake. Pharaoh and his magicians turn their staffs into snakes too. So we have some snakes here. We have two little snakes right here, and then we have a bigger snake. So you can kind of get those out, have some fun with the kids, talk about how Moses' snake ate the other two snakes. And then after that, so Moses' snake eats the other two snakes. Pharaoh eventually lets God's people go, and they walk into the desert. So all the kids that are kind of playing the part of the Israelites, give them pool noodles as little hiking sticks, or walking sticks. And then you can have them kind of walk around the room, have some fun with them on that. And then Pharaoh changes his mind and decides to come after God's people and with his whole army. So then you have that Pharaoh child gallop on the horse pole. So here's what I have for that. I know this is really a donkey, but it's close enough. So they can kind of straddle that and pretend to kind of gallop around the room, chasing after the kids who are the Israelites. And then God's people get stuck at sea with nowhere to go. So this is where you're going to kind of stop the review, and then you can have the Israelites or the kids playing God's people kind of panic and and then you're going to transition. So then you'll go over this. That was a pretty adventurous story, but we're not done yet. God's people were stuck at the edge of the sea, and Pharaoh's army was coming fast. For a moment, God's people were furious with Moses, accusing him of trapping them on purpose. But Moses had hope that this was part of God's plan. Let's review the next part of the story, the parting of the Red Sea. Next activity, parting of the blue cups. So you want to divide your group in half and give one team a couple packs of cups here, and then the other team the other half of cups. And then what I would recommend is have one team build their cups here, and the other team build their cups here. They want to build like a wall using the cups. And then that way you have kind of a pathway after both walls of cups are built up. And then the kids can walk through that pathway, imitating walking through the parting of the Red Sea. And then at the end, ask what happened with Pharaoh's army when Pharaoh's army tried to cross, and invite the kids to knock the walls down. Then collect the cups at the end and place them off to the side so they're not a distraction for the next activity. After that, we have jamboreens. So we have all these fun little instruments here, these little shakers, make a joyful noise, sing to the Lord. So this is the part where now that you've done the video, you've reviewed the story, talk about how the Israelites, after they crossed the Red Sea, they stopped to sing a praise song to God. And in fact, a little fun fact here, Exodus 15, when the Israelites sing this is the first recorded song or poem of praise in the Bible. Exodus chapter 15. So for this one, I grab my Roku remote. For this one, you want to go back, and there's the Pharaoh, Pharaoh song. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. It's kind of like that. It's to the tune of Louie, Louie, but it's a kind of a camp song. So that's a fun one. Have the kids shake their instruments as you play that song. And then at the very end, we have a little object lesson here. We have caramel-filled Hershey Kisses and then baby wipes to clean up the mess. So we have these Hershey Kisses, and basically what you're talking about is telling the kids that there is caramel inside of these, but we can't see it, but we just have to trust that it's in there. Just like how we have to trust that God has a plan even when we can't see exactly what he has in mind for us. You can talk about how the Israelites grumbled when Pharaoh made them work harder. That was part of God's plan, and in the moment it was tough, but they just kind of had to trust. And then you can squish the Hershey Kiss and show kids how, when we get grumpy and we just don't trust God fully, we can kind of make a good situation a little bit messy. So you can follow the prompts in there, and that's the basic gist of that object lesson. And then at the end, of course, you can give kids a Hershey Kiss as a treat. If any kid gets sticky or messy, or if you need to wipe your hands off, that's what the baby wipes are for. Those are all the activities for this Sunday school class. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Engage the kids in their imaginations and knock it out of the park. Thanks for helping out.